Hollywood has convinced us aging is a crime, but nobody built that illusion harder than the Kardashian-Jenner empire. For almost 2 decades, they sold us effortless beauty while quietly chasing surgical perfection like it was a full-time job. But now, the illusion is cracking. It's not because they're getting older. They're aging like milk because they refuse to age at all. The more they fight time, the louder time fights back. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. The Kardashians aren't aging badly because they're aging. They're aging badly because they try to delete aging from their faces and bodies. Their natural beauty didn't fade over time. It got buried under pressure, procedures, and perfection. When Keeping Up debuted in 2007, the family's brand wasn't just fame, it was control. The control over the narrative, control over the camera, control over the before and after. Over time, you could literally watch the pressure rise. The more they became the standard, the more they had to keep raising the standard. That is the trap of building an empire on youth. Youth is the one thing money can't buy forever, but they kept trying anyway. Now in 2026, the vibe is different. The same faces that used to look snatched are starting to look stretched. The same tiny tweaks are starting to look heavy. And that's not a moral judgment. It's the visual cost of chasing perfection too aggressively, too often, for too long. Let's talk about Kim Kardashian because she is basically the blueprint of the modern celebrity makeover era. Kim has openly acknowledged using Botox before, and that alone tells you the baseline. Botox and fillers aren't rare in that world. They're like maintenance. But Kim's look also fits the pattern people associate with bigger interventions over time. Sculpted jaw and nose refinement, facial filler cycles where volume gets added, then dissolved, then added again, and the body shifts that people often connect to liposuction, and yes, even the Ozempic conversation that follows almost every extreme, sudden change in Hollywood now. Here's what happens when the aesthetic becomes a moving target. If you remove too much fat from areas that once gave the face softness, the face can start to look sharper in a way that reads older, not younger. If filler becomes the main support beam for years, dissolving it later can create hollowness that didn't exist before. If you tighten, snatch, and refine everything, you can end up with a face that looks less human and more like a product design. Kim didn't lose her beauty, isn't it? She traded her natural beauty for a manufactured version of it. That's why people keep saying they miss her old face. Not because she looked imperfect, but because she looked real. Now look at Kylie Jenner. Kylie is the perfect case study of what happens when you grow up inside a beauty empire where the camera is always judging you. Kylie has publicly spoken about at least one cosmetic procedure, and her body changes over the years have fueled constant speculation about breast augmentation, lip fillers, facial fillers, and surgical shaping. Whether every rumor is true or not, the bigger point is unavoidable. Kylie became the symbol of injectable culture. The lips, the cheeks, the pillow face era, then the fresh again era, where it looks like things were dissolved, repositioned, or refined. Now, here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. When you start very young, you don't get the gift of growing into your face. You end up managing your face. You become a project. The cycle of chasing symmetry, chasing lift, chasing an edited version of yourself that only exists in perfect lighting. Even if the goal is youth, the result can look older because the face is no longer behaving like a face. It's behaving like a sculpt. Kendall Jenner is different, but that's why she matters in this conversation. Kendall built her image on natural and model-off beauty, but even Kendall has lived under the same machine. The pressure is just quieter. People have long speculated about subtle procedures that keep things camera-ready, like strategic Botox, conservative fillers, and refinement-level plastic surgery rather than dramatic change. The Kendall approach is often the less is more version of the same obsession. Don't look different, just don't look older. In the same ways, that pressure is even more intense because the expectation is that you look untouched while still looking unreal. Now, Khloe Kardashian. Khloe has openly discussed having a nose job, but her transformation over the years goes far beyond one feature. Whether it's filters, injectables, weight loss shifts, surgeries, or all of it together, Khloe's face has had multiple eras where even longtime viewers get whiplash. She's also one of the clearest examples of how the internet's cruelty pushes people deeper into the perfection spiral. When the world makes you the before photo in your own family, you start trying to outrun that story. That's how you end up in a constant cycle of tweaks. Fillers for volume, Botox for smoothing, possible surgical tightening. body changes that trigger the Ozempic rumors, and a public image that never gets to rest. Kourtney Kardashian is often labeled the most natural, and compared to the rest, she might be. But most natural in that family still lives in a world where Botox, subtle fillers, skin treatments, and refinement level adjustments are treated like skincare. Kourtney also shows something important. Even when someone does less, the family brand still pulls them into the same marketplace. Because this isn't just personal insecurity, it's a business model. Their faces are billboards. Then there's Kris Jenner, the manager-in-chief, the architect of the machine. Kris has become the poster example for high-end Hollywood refreshes, the kind that spark headlines in "How does she look so young?" That question is exactly the problem. When someone in their late life is being praised for looking decades younger, we don't call it pressure, we call it goals. But what that really does is teach everyone watching that aging is optional if you have enough money. Botox, fillers, facelifts, skin tightening, laser treatments, surgical refinement, whatever combination it is, the message is the same: don't age, edit. Now zoom out. Why does this feel like it's getting worse up to 2026? Because the procedures aren't happening in a vacuum, they're happening inside the content machine. High-definition cameras, harsh lighting, social media zoom, TikTok before and after detectives, filters that erase texture completely. Then real life shows up with pores, movement, and gravity. And suddenly the face looks wrong because we've been trained to expect a blur in real life. That's why the Kardashian look is starting to read unnatural to more people now. They didn't just get work done. They built an empire where every new product launch can be paired with a new face era. A skincare line drops and suddenly the skin looks glass smooth. Some supplements drop and suddenly the body looks tighter. The makeup product drops and suddenly the jaw looks sharper. It's marketing, and it's incredibly effective. That's why the Kardashian isn't just a serum. The product is the fantasy. They taught a generation that youth is a purchasable product. But now the bill is due, not because they're older, but because they tried to freeze themselves in time. And the human body doesn't do freeze frames. Let's ask you, which Kardashian-Jenner transformation feels the most extreme to you? If you're still watching, hit like and subscribe, because the next part gets even wilder. Here's the part that makes this story bigger than one famous family. The Kardashians didn't invent insecurity, they industrialized it. Think about the tools we keep seeing connected to this never age era. Botox for frozen smoothness, fillers for lifted volume, plastic surgery for structural changes, liposuction to sculpt, sometimes too aggressively, which can change how skin sits later. The breast augmentation to match a shifting body trend. Ozempic rumors following rapid weight loss, especially in a culture that rewards thin again overnight. None of those things is inherently evil. The issue is the system around them. When the goal becomes perfect, you stop asking, "Do I look good?" and start asking, "Do I look young enough?" That's a losing game, because the finish line keeps moving. There will always be a newer face trend, a new jaw, a new filter that makes your real skin look outdated. And that's exactly why people say they're aging like milk. It's not the years, it's the overcorrection. You can literally see the cultural side effects now. Teenagers talking about preventive Botox. People in their 20s are panicking over smile lines. Someone turns 30 and it feels like it's a deadline. That mindset didn't appear out of nowhere. It was taught. And the Kardashian empire was one of the loudest teachers. This isn't about hating the Kardashians. It's about recognizing the machine they built and deciding if we want to keep feeding it. They built an empire on youth. And now, the world is watching what happens when youth stops cooperating. Do you think this family ever steps away from the perfection game? Or do they double down forever? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, because honestly, this story is not over yet. Until next time.